Hey, you're with Chris here at Car Cave USA, Aiken, South Carolina. Website's carcaveusa.com. Phone number is 803-262-4742. If you need to get financing, reach out to us. We have a bunch of lending options that we can hook you up with. What we're dealing with here is a 1994 Land Rover Defender 110. It's previously a Oman military vehicle, so being out of the Middle East, it's extremely dry. It's straight. Previous color was probably similar to what it is, but when you look down the side, try and get in the light, you can see all the original spot welds. Doesn't look like it's been wrecked anywhere. The truck topper is removable. You have half doors, so the glass comes out. And interestingly enough, they added a very unique AC panel, which is normal there in the Middle East with the heat. That's something can't really live without, air conditioning. So we see that a lot, but that's just a panel they added on with some vents tied in a AC compressor, and they were on their way. So interestingly enough, back then, the Oman military was ordering these with the 2.5 liter carbureted petrol motor. So a little bit different than the diesels. Guys love to swap this motor into the series trucks. They run pretty solid, get good speed out of them. It's not a bad motor setup at all. It's different, than what you deal with in a 300 or 200 TDI, just with its torque curve and, obviously has spark plugs and a carburetor instead of an injection pump, given it's not a diesel. But they're not a bad motor at all. They switched later to be running the 300 TDI in their military. I think that was like 99, but they ran these for a long time. What's cool is, given the truck topper you can take off, you can turn this into a soft top. Someone threw seats back here, and you have a full truck bed. So you could use it as a truck. The seats, I think, have 2 bolts in them. You do have a spare tire back here. And besides that, rip out the seats, you have a truck. You can take the top off, and you could have yourself an open vehicle. So the top's pretty easy to unbolt here. You can see, like any Defender, where the bulkhead sits here. Bring the topper off, bring the half doors off, and you're operating yourself an open top Defender. So this would be a really good candidate for your own build, a full nut and bolt restoration, or just kind of fix and drive. We haven't done anything to it, so it is full 100%. You need to take this to your mechanic. We haven't checked the fluids, we haven't gone to the gearboxes, we haven't looked at it, we haven't checked the brakes, we haven't checked the lights, we haven't checked anything. So if you're buying it, you need to go through this vehicle and make sure it is road safe. We've driven it, it starts up, it seems like it runs pretty good. The reason we're selling it, we have plenty of stuff to work on. It's been here for about 60 days. We haven't had a chance to get to it. We know Defenders really well. We bought this because it's a dry climate vehicle. So you go in here, your rear cross member, it's nice and clean. Your frame's clean. Your outriggers, that's really clean. Looks great on video. But you don't see that on a lot of these, especially European ones. You see all the spot welds down here, your half doors. You don't have the rot you normally see on the ones that are sourced out of other places. So if it's something you want to take and build, you want to use as a little beach cruiser, you can kick sand in it. You're not going to be afraid of anything. It is the LT77 transmission, the LT230 transfer box. We didn't test the AC. I don't know if the miles are correct. They could be, just given it as a military vehicle. You never know where these, what life they've had and where they've been sitting. So I can't verify the miles. I would assume it has more, but it runs pretty good. Let's make sure it's out of gear. We'll pump off the key. So I'm standing outside the vehicle. That's a carburetor. It's cold. I didn't touch any choke. Let's see if we can. It sounds pretty good. When I don't get any fluid coming out, but I do have wipers moving, which usually the cars out of the Middle East, the wipers are not very functional just because they're never used. I don't have a horn. I don't have a blinker in front. Oh, I might now. Let's go look again. Yep, it decided it wanted to work now. Typical British car. There you go. We're going to turn this off so we don't die of smoke inhalation. You do have some backlight working, as you can see. The top dash looks in pretty good condition. Same with the visors. They're a little stiff. Probably also from being out in the desert. Looks like we have a right blinker bulb out. Headlamps are working. Marker lights are working. Someone added in your hood pulls here. It does have the older style fold down windshield with those hinge styles. And those are, like I said, your safari doors. You can hear, it sounds like electric fans underneath the hood. Same down here, you can see all the spot welders. You may ask, what is this? They ordered all their vehicles for the military with a secondary fuel tank. We've never got one where the second tank was working. So it looks like your front blinker bulb is out. You do have one working running light and a tag light. So you do have power that's going around, your switches are working. Let's see if take the lights back off. Let's release the hood here. What we're thinking about, look at the bulkhead going all the way down. Looks like in here someone, nope, I thought for a second they'd done repaired. This is normal where they put these tabs on, and it looks like they've just painted pretty heavily on the seal. So all their paint work, you have your windshield seal coming down. Going in back here, bottom of the floor pan. I can't see the camera when it's down there. Someone put some aftermarket lights. I would suspect they're not working. Like I said, you are buying this. It's an untested full bloom. You need to do work on it. You drive it up the road, but I wouldn't recommend taking it out on a legal road until you really go through it, check everything out. What looks like is after they added on their nice little cup holder and their AC unit and the work they did, they deleted what would be a hood pull. So this is the first time I've actually looked around this vehicle. I know Defenders really well, so it's not something that's overly difficult for me to look at and start analyzing while we're doing it on video. You do have the original steel wheels. It's a 245/85/16, which is an oddball tire. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's no, you got nothing on here but those manual latches. There we are. All right, so you do have the electric fans. Like I was saying, I could hear them kick on. You have your carburetor, which looks like something. No, float's sitting good. Someone's put gaskets on it at some point. Newer plug wires, newer spark plugs, newer ballast resistor. Looks like a newer reservoir. So yeah, I mean, all around, you have plenty of room with this 4-cylinder. And they drive pretty well. Someone's done hoses. I do know it has a steering gearbox leak. It's marking its own territory. It's a Land Rover. They do that. Steering gearboxes are notorious. You can see that AC condenser drain. Let's see if I can get you further down here. See it dripping some. It looks like you can see some rust in there, which is not typical of these Omani vehicles. So you can see it in the floor pan. I don't know if they did that. Looks like when they were knocking out the AC, you can see all their work there, that they kind of went to town. Frame over here, you have your VIN number, and then it is tagged up top. So looks like it was probably white originally. You can see some of the paint back there, the footwells. But yeah, it's a dry climate Defender. It's gonna need some love, gonna need some work, but we're pricing it that way. We haven't done mechanical or technical rundown, so selling is a project. You have questions, reach out. It's Chris at Car Cave, Aiken, South Carolina. If you look around and see some of what we have stored up here in our showroom, we have a full workshop in back that stays super busy. We've got a backlog. So if you have questions, like I said, go ahead and reach out. If you're interested in any of our other Defenders, reach out. We will be here. So 803-262-4742. Thanks.